Hello there, my name is Wafflestheasianyenbear and welcome back to another Pokemon Showdown RU battle. Today, we are once again using our CROCesslia team that we built on Tuesday. If you missed that, go ahead, check out the description down below for a link to the Meet the Squad video. That being said though, before we get into this actual battle, I've got to share this with you guys because I've got to share it with someone. I found out about the series on the CW Seed, not sponsored by the way, because no one sponsors me, ever. People should sponsor me. Anyway, but I found this show on the CW Seed, and it's basically a little like indie music show, and they had this one really cool song in the preview, and I found it, I downloaded it, and I'm starting to download all the rest of the songs, but I just wanted to share it with you guys, because I love it so much. So, here you go.
So when things are looking extra bleak, there's a little tune I sing. Even Superman had a day job and Luke Skywalker worked on a farm, but in reality...
Okay guys, so the show is called I Ship It. It's a little, just kind of a dorky fun little show, but I love it so much, and I'm gonna be like marathoning the rest of it tonight and the next day, I think. But it got me really excited. I found out about it this morning and I wanted to share it with somebody, so I shared it with you guys. So, and sorry the clip was kind of short. I wanted to keep it so that I didn't get copyright strikes, because nobody likes copyright strikes. But anyways, today we're facing commoners, who spelled like common and Connor mixed together. I'm guessing he's like some weird fusion of the two. But he's got Incineroar, Nidoqueen, a Silvally, which we don't know the type of because it won't tell us yet, Electros, Drapion, and Lurantis. So, normally I would lead with Rotom. Normally. But after that last game, I do not want to get Toxic Spikes put on my team, and he's got two Pokemon that can do it, Nidoqueen and the Drapion, so I'm going to lead with my Gigalith, because Gigalith can Earthquake or Stone Edge the Incineroar, Earthquake the Nidoqueen, Stone Edge the Electros, probably take whatever physical attack the Silvally wants to go for, Earthquake the Drapion, and then I have no idea what Lurantis does, so we're going to figure that out as we go. But you're going to see that he actually leads with the Lurantis, and I'm like, okay, I'll go for Stone Edge. I don't really know what Lurantis wants to go for. Maybe a Leaf Blade, whatever. I'll go for the Stone Edge. It'll be fine. But he goes for Leaf Storm and chose contrary. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's a set. It's just going to be like slightly worse superior. Okay, I can play around that. I know this now. We're good. So, looking at the team, because I didn't really talk about that. As long as the Incineroar and the Drapion are gone, I should be able to set up on Electros, Nidoqueen, or Lurantis with my CROCesslia, depending on Silvally, maybe even Silvally. So, my goal here is to kill the two dark types and then win with CROCesslia. So, I go for the Stone Edge, I get the crit, it's a high crit move, makes sense, and at this point, I think I switch out, yes I do, and I go into Florges, because now I see what this thing can do. I should be able to live whatever hits it wants to go for. It goes for Synthesis, trying to kind of see if I miss my Stone Edge, which obviously I don't, because I didn't go for Stone Edge. And now I'm going to go for Moonblast. I should be able to take the Leaf Storm from this thing, and he actually switches in the Drapion. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. I need to kill the dark types. I'll take whatever poison type hit it wants to go for. Poison Jab, Cross Poison, whatever. I should be able to take one, just generally, because my bulk and all that good stuff, and be able to kill it with Moonblast. So, I stay in, he goes for the Cross Poison, thankfully does not set up the Toxic Spike, so I can just go for the Moonblast and kill the Drapion. So, my allergies has now been weakened, and I think at this point I kind of just sack it off when the Nidoqueen comes in. I'm not 100% sure on this. I should know, this is like the third time I tried to record this. Yeah, okay, Nidoqueen comes in, Sludge Wave should kill me here. I just kind of sack it off, go for Whisk just in case the Stealth Rocks or the Toxic Spikes come out. But Sludge Wave kills allergies, and I'm good with that. If only my actual allergies would die. I think I made that joke last video. If I did, my bad. But Lapras, I bring Lapras in, and I go for the Surf here, just kind of predicting maybe the Electros to come in. But Nidoqueen stays, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll go for Freeze Dry now, just in case the Lurantis wants to come in, and try to, like, mix up how I'm doing things. But the Electros comes in, and I'm like, okay, I can do a little bit of damage to the Electros. Electros is not going to be able to do that much to me, even with a Thunderbolt or a Discharge or anything like that. So I should be good to just stay in, quick Freeze Dry, and go from there. So I go for 20%. Good damage, Electros takes it, and goes for the Volt Switch, and only does 33%, because I've got the Assault Vest, I'm good to go there. So, it Volt Switches into Incineroar, And I'm like, I don't really have anything I want to switch into the Incineroar immediately. I'm okay to sack off Lapras and kind of scout to see if it's either speed invested or scarfed or what have you. So I let Lapras die, Incineroar takes some damage, and I'm good with that. So I bring in Heracross here, and I go for close combat. And the reason I do that is because I did not want to risk the Stone Edge miss. Knowing what the Savali's type is now, it's Savali Ghost, I would definitely have still clicked Stone Edge at that point if I had known that this was Ghost. But again, it doesn't show you when you're in the battle until it actually comes out. So, unfortunately, we're locked into close combat, so I'm going to have to switch. I go to Gigalith just to see what it's going to go for, multi-attack, some sort of physical move I'm expecting. But Savali actually goes for Shadow Ball, and I'm like, okay. I mean, it only does 18% to me, but at least now I know what that Savali is, so I think we're good to go there. I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to click Stone Edge, it's my stab move, my strongest move, should be able to do a good chunk of the Savali, but it shows it has parting shots, so we're learning all sorts of new stuff today, that Lurantis is basically superior, and the Savali usually runs parting shots. So, these are things that are important to know, and things that we'll know for next time, but Stone Edge does absolutely, like, just minuscule damage compared to what it should be doing, because Gigalith is a Gigalith. It did 18%. So I'm like, alright, well, I have nothing I want to bring in on this. I think a Sludge Wave or an Ice Beam, not an Ice Beam, a Sludge Wave or maybe like a Thunderbolt would probably kill me here. And I don't want to bring in Rotom or Heracross on a Sludge Wave. So I just take the Earth Power, let myself die, and I go into Beetlejuice and I lock myself into Knockoff here. He lets his Nidoqueen die. I do the calc for this. I'm sure he did the calc as well, or he just knows. And be proud of me, guys. I actually went and I did a calc for this. Incineroar, after my +1, only takes like 30 to 40% from a knockoff, which is insane. So, we're going to see that this is going to start switching how the game is being played. So, normally when I was trying to set up for CROCesslia, that was my main goal at the beginning of this game. Now I have to set up for Heracross, because the way he's playing the Incineroar is as a revenge killer, and he's keeping it safe. So that tells me, one, it's probably Scarf. The fact that he brought it in here, he maybe thinks he can outspeed me, that's fine. But I will be able to outspeed his Incineroar even if it's Scarfed. I just have to make sure that I'm able to lock myself into something like Mega Horn, for example, which would be able to kill, or Stone Edge, or anything like that, even close combat. But I don't want to be locking myself into close combat while Savali's around, so it's most likely going to be Mega Horn or Stone Edge, depending on if the Lurantis goes down. So, that's the game plan at this point. This is the turn where things change, and I switch into my CROCesslia here. Because if it is Scarf, and it does lock itself into Flare Blitz, I'll be able to do at least a little bit of recoil damage to him, and be good to go from there. So, I go for the rest. I figured I still outspeed this thing maybe, or if I don't, he's gonna at least be pretty low down here. As you can see, he took a pretty big chunk from the Flare Blitz. So, I'll go for the rest in case he wants to do any sort of weird thing. I'm at 50%, so if that was like a high roll for him, I will be able to live it. But the Lurantis comes in and I'm like, okay, this is good, this is fine. He still has the Incineroar, so I will try to set up, but I'm not going to try to set up to win. I'm going to try to set up to make sure that the Lurantis can't set up and sweep me, if that makes sense. Because I know I'll be able to win the Calm Mind Leaf Storm War when it comes to this, because of my bulk, and because this thing is not going to be upping its own bulk. And it only has like 8 Leaf Storms, so we should be good to go there. I just need to get one Calm Mind during this Sleep Talk, or make sure that he doesn't hit me twice during that, which he doesn't, so we're good. We're good. And I get the Calm Mind for the second one as well, so we're extra good now. We'll be fine. At some point, I know he's seen my entire moveset now. So at some point, he's going to switch Incineroar back in, and I'm not going to be able to beat it, which is fine. The point is that I want to be able to either waste this thing's Leaf Storms, or just outright kill it if I can. So, that's the plan there. If Incineroar comes in, it's going to have to lock itself into a Dark move, and if it locks itself into a Dark move, Heracross has a very good shot at killing it. So, if it locks itself into Flare Blitz, then I'll just go to Rotom and we'll deal with that, or I'll just recover up on it and make it take some recoil damage. So that's my plan. Ideally, if I can lock myself into Mega Horn, I think after +1, I'm able to kill the Savali. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think actually, no, I'm not. I have to be +2 to kill it. So, ultimately, you'll see that kind of play out towards the end, but my ideal situation here is to win with Heracross, locking myself into Mega Horn. So, Calm Mind, like I said, I'm going to be able to win this war. 32% is the max it's going to be able to do. It's already at +6 now. I do get a little bit confused, honestly, because of the way they do the whole multipliers there, which makes more sense for math purposes, but I lose track of how many times a Pokemon has set up. So, I go for the rest here just to sort of recover because we have to. He goes for his Leaf Storm, and now I go for Sleep Talk, and I think this is a turn where he switches out to Incineroar. No, I go for Sleep Talk, and I get a Calm Mind. Next turn. Whoa, that was a weird way of saying next. I meant to say next, and it kind of came up like next, like a sheep. I'm not a sheep, I promise. There's no sheep behind the screen. Anyways, I go for the second Sleep Talk. He switches into Incineroar, and this is the turn that we get Psyshock, which is a little bit of a bummer. Had I gotten that a little bit earlier, I feel like we would have killed the Lurantis. Doesn't really make a huge difference towards the end game, but it would be nice to have him one more Pokemon down. We go for the Psyshock, and now he has to lock himself into the Dark move. I'll just go ahead. I'll go for Rest just in case he locks himself into Flare Blitz, but if he locks himself into the Dark move, he's going to be able to kill me, and I won't be able to do anything about that, which is fine. Ultimately, either way, I have a plan going forward, so we'll be good. We'll be fine. So Darkest Lariat comes out, does 60% to me, and now I'm just going to Sleep Talk just to see what we get, but ultimately Moonduck will die. Here. So, Moonduck goes for Sleep Talk, and we get Rest, which again, doesn't make a difference, but I wanted to roll the dice, kind of see what would happen. So, Moonduck dies, and now that he's locked himself into the Dark move, I can bring in Heracross, force that thing out, and go for Mega Horn, or if it wants to stay in, it's going to die to the Mega Horn, and that should win me the game. So, I go for Mega Horn, the Lurantis comes in, and it's going to just die. It does crit, but I don't think it actually mattered. I could run the calculator, but I don't think that one mattered. I don't think that one did. Lurantis is not a particularly strong Pokemon. So, Beetlejuice gets an attack increase, the Savali comes in, and here I do run the calc for this, because I switch out and I go to Rotom. I wanted to make sure that, hey, I'm actually running the calc so that I can know, hey, can I kill these Pokemon? Because I've never actually really battled against them, except Incineroar. I've battled against an Incineroar before. So, I go into Turkey's Done. On the Savali, I know if it goes for like Shadow Ball, that's probably going to be its strongest move. Turkey's Done should be able to live one and go for Overheat. If the Incineroar wants to switch in, it's just going to be taking extra damage. And at that point, I might be able to lock myself into Knockoff if I can wear that thing down to the right amount. So, Overheat though does 74%. Savali is now in range of Mega Horn, and I can bring in Heracross, lock myself into it, and as long as they all hit, I should win. So, I go for Mega Horn here. He switches into Electros. It takes 61% from it, but I still outspeed it, so I should be good to go. Again, as long as they hit, we're fine. So, I go for it again. Electros dies. We get our +1 boost, and we should be able to kill the incoming Incineroar. I outspeed it, even if it's Scarf. I am also Scarf, so we should be good. I go for it, and we miss. So Beetlejuice is gonna die to a Flare Blitz, which is a little disappointing. It is 85% accurate, so there is that 15% chance, which is a little bit high among the amount of other Pokemon moves that you could click. But at that point, maybe I could have locked myself into Stone Edge, but Stone Edge has an 80% chance to hit, so it's a higher amount of likelihood it would have missed. So ultimately, I feel like Mega Horn was still my best play. Knockoff, I know even after the +1 would not have killed Incineroar there. So it was definitely a very close game, and that's the reason why I wanted to show you guys this, was because I feel like it easily could have gone the other way. I think this is the game we play, and it's okay that I lost and all of that, but I just wanted to show you guys, because I felt like towards the end game, the way he played the Incineroar and the way I played the Heracross really kind of showed how I had to adjust my strategy from the CROCesslia and how we had to work around that. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this team. I know I mentioned it in the last video that I would switch out Gigalith for Donphan, I think, if I were to continue using this one. But I would also maybe switch out Lapras. After seeing how much it did to the Electros and kind of just general usage throughout all the battles, I feel like Lapras is a little underwhelming for the tier as it is right now. Lapras, I think, is generally a good Pokemon, but I feel like it just can't shine at the moment. So, maybe switching that out for a different Pokemon, Mantine for a Defogger, or whatever you want to do, would be a good idea if you happen to want to use this team. I'll leave it down in the description in case you do. But hopefully you have a good day, a good week, a good life, and I believe next week we might be skipping the Meet the Squad video because I've got some special videos to show you guys, but that might also be the week after. It just depends on how much I can get recorded before then. But either way, I will see you guys on Monday, and hopefully you have a good day, a good week, a good life. Now, goodbye.